Hi. Whoa, ladies, I'm a princess too.
Yeah. Well, in terms of animation, this studio has such a grand legacy, and many of the original filmmakers are still here in this building. So Mark Henn, who is a legendary Disney animator, he was the original supervising animator for 5 of the princesses: Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, Mulan, and Tiana. And he was our draw-over lead on Frozen for Anna and Elsa. He said Cinderella was the movie that inspired him to be an animator. So nobody really knows these characters better than Mark, and we were so fortunate to have him with us in animation all through the process. He did some hand-drawn animation of Ariel. It was almost 30 years later that he was revisiting this character. So he's there drawing her and flipping the paper, and it just really taught us and inspired us. And he would sit in, we have dailies where we show our scenes to the directors, and he would sit there sketching on his pad to suggest poses or acting choices, just to make sure that we're being authentic to who these ladies are. Just pay attention to the princesses when they're in the background, not when they're front and center, just when they're in the background. There are little nods and homages to things that I think the fans will really enjoy. I know it was a joy for us, and we were geeking out about what if we do this? So, and then the other really big piece of the puzzle was that we had the original voice actresses come back and voice their characters. And so they came and spoke to our animators and just gave us all kinds of insights about what makes Belle Belle, and how would you think that your character would relate to the other ladies. And so it was just a wealth of information for somebody like me who is a ginormous Disney fan, and these are the movies that inspired me to be an animator. I was in heaven, but it was also I've been training for this my whole life.
The first draft of the scene was actually made all by mice and various woodland creatures. We were so fortunate to have so many magical animals come and help us, because they really know the most thing about the princesses. Yeah. The first movie is about what these characters are like when they're not playing their games. And so we approach the internet the same way. When you go to a website like Oh My Disney and you're taking all these quizzes about are you an Elsa or an Anna, and you identify with all of these princesses, you then wonder, well, what would they be like when they're not working on the site and they're all waiting in the green room for their next performance at Disneyland, and what would they be like hanging out? And so because they're on the internet, we thought of them in a modern internet way. And I like hipster Ariel. I like the way that I'm influenced by the way that the Disney princesses live online, and we sort of approached it that way, a modern sisterhood.
Do people assume all your problems got solved because a big, strong man showed up?
Yes! What is up with that?
She is a princess!